Could you just maybe share some of the approaches, high level, of course, about investing within family office services?
Well, I think what is important is just to think about what is the purpose of the family office. What do they want to achieve in terms of their investments and the returns of their investments. Um, you could say that for all family offices, it's always somewhere in between two objectives. One is capital preservation, and the other one is growth of the assets of the asset pool. And some family offices will lean much more towards the preservation of capital as a main objective, and others will much more be focusing on growth. It depends also on which generation you are on. If it is a first, a second, or third generation, that can have an influence on the main objective they have. So I think that's important in terms of how investments are being built. But an element, as I said before, and you mentioned it a few minutes ago, is the long-term aspect, which is typical for family offices. It's typically multi-generational, so really long-term compared to other asset owners, and that gives them an enormous advantage that they can access um, or easily access some type of investments that are more difficult to hold for other asset owners. Think, for instance, at the situation of some of the pension funds in the UK, quite a lot of pension funds in the UK who were investing in private equity and had to sell their assets a few years ago just because they couldn't keep that type of investments with a long-term time frame, while asset owners like family offices really can hold a lot of illiquid assets in their portfolio, and that's an enormous advantage because they can capture an additional premium for that illiquidity of the portfolio or part of the portfolio. And that means that when you look at portfolios of family offices, very often you will have an enormous allocation to asset classes like real estate, like private equity, very often in direct investments as well, but also in funds, and they will by definition capture a higher return than other asset owners because of that.
Great. And if we step back in, so you talked about some, the type of objectives that they typically have, the timeline of their investments, and also the type of investments that they may invest in. If we can take a step back on getting like the approaches before they even start going into the investments, getting the understanding that they need when their assets are across multiple countries, multiple asset classes. How does that typically work? And the importance also of doing that. Um,
Well, I think it's not always like that, but ideally, a family office should really think about yeah, what they want to achieve in terms of return, what type of risk they want to take, and that has consequences on or interaction with the asset classes they want to play with and the others they want to exclude. But it's also very important to define the real convictions they have. So we would call that typically the investment beliefs they have. Each investor and each organization even has investment beliefs. Very often they are not documented. That's the problem. So helping an organization with documenting those beliefs is an important exercise because then you're forced to really get much better focused as an organization in terms of your investments, because the investment world is that wide, that large, that you can't follow everything. Especially typically in a family office, um, a small investment team is working in house with a small team of 5 or even 10 people. You can't cover all types of investments and all investments in the world. That's really too large. So you can use advisors, of course, but you need to be focused. And very often, you see families who, um, for instance, for their real estate, they like to keep it closer to home. And for private equity, which is a large chunk of their assets, they develop a strategy based on a number of sectors uh, they think they are good at, or they would like to focus on because of the future return perspectives, or the impact it can have um, on other groups in society as well. We can come back on that theme later on. But that's an element which is important to define your beliefs, and that can really help to be better focused and not to disperse your investment team into everything and not doing anything in a deep and good way. It's important to be focused.